So I saw the SOJ raising his hand. Would you like to give your comment now, or I'm actually going to ask him questions on this? Then I'll ask the chair to give you time to rebut.
I would like to hear your questions
Okay,
and answers.
thank you for that. So sir, tayo ba nag-meet na rin ba tayo?
I don't think so, sir.
I don't think so. So yeah, yes, so I don't mean to be rude, and I thank you for your, volunteering your opinion. Kasi nga, basically there's so much confusion. So we're trying to get through the confusion, not only for today but also for tomorrow, to make sure that we respect our constitution and everyone's right is protected. So my first question: do we, in this room, do we all agree that if there's conflict between international law and our constitution will prevail?
Yes, Your Honor, that's the doctrine of constitutional supremacy.
You agree, SOJ? No? Yeah. If there's conflict, di ba? Kasi sinabi naman sa Constitution that international law forms part of the land of the law. So if there's no conflict, wala tayong problema. Okay. So having said that, one of the fundamental or yung anchors or foundations of the Philippine Constitution, also from the U.S. Constitution, is Section 1 of the Bill of Rights, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied equal protection of law. Agree, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So when we arrest someone, we're depriving him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
When we deport someone by virtue of a warrant arrest, let's say like in the case of Congressman Mark Jimenez extradition with the U.S., we're depriving him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So when we, I don't know, alleged lawful arrest, let me just use it that way while we're determining, of former President Duterte, and then putting him to a plane to Hague, we deprived him of liberty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the next question, was he given due process? So ang sinasabi po ng government, there are two ways: extradition or surrender.
Yes.
Okay. And tama po ba, this law that we're invoking now was passed before we ratified yung ICC?
Yes.
This law was prior to the ICC, no? Judicial Notice, Republic Act
9851.
9851.
Kung ang iyong kapatid ay inuusig, ipapasa mo ba sa kamay ng iba? Kung ang iyong ama o di kaya ang iyong lolo pa, matanda na at may sakit, kinakaladkad palabas ng inyong tahanan, manunood ka ba na parang wala lang? Ganito ang nangyari ngayon. Isinuko natin si Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa dayuhan na para bang wala siyang sariling bayan, na para bang hindi na natin kayang humusga sa sarili nating tahanan. Here we are watching as a fellow Filipino, a leader, a father, a grandfather, a man who served this country, is taken not by his own people, but by outsiders who claim the right to judge him. Sabi nila, batas ang dapat manaig. Tama. But whose law? Ours or theirs? Since when did the Philippines become a province of The Hague? Kung kaya nilo itong gawin sa isang dating pangulo, sino na lang ang susunod? If they can march into our house and take one of our own, what stops them from doing it again and again? To you, to me, to any of us. What protection can we guarantee our OFWs eking out a living overseas? This is bigger than Duterte. This is about our dignity as Filipinos. Ngayon pa lang ito nangyari sa buong kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Pero paano kung mauulit? Paano kung sa susunod, ibang Pilipino naman ang kinaladkad papalabas? The Senate will seek answers, and if there is indeed wrongdoing, we will make certain to put up safeguards so this never happens again. We are not here to fight, least of all, to fight each other. We are here to find the truth. Because a country that does not demand answers will always be at the mercy of those who dictate the questions. Ang hustisyang ipinapataw ng dayuhan ay hindi hustisya. Ito ay pang-aalipin. Ito ay pagkontrol. At mga kababayan ko, hindi tayo alipin. Tayo ay Pilipino. At kung Pilipino ka, hindi mo kailanman isusuko ang iyong kapwang Pilipino. Hindi mo isusuko ang iyong pagiging Pilipino. Rumor lang yon?
Yes, ma'am.
Group effort ang sabi mo eh. Ang tanong niya kung ikaw ang nagplano, tapos sabi mo,
There was no
hindi,
planning,
group
ma'am.
effort.
There was no planning, ma'am.
Anong
Earlier-
in-effort ng group
Ma'am,
kapag hindi
let
plano?
me make- I think that we're intruding into executive privilege already, ma'am.
Opo, Senator Amy, may I be allowed to read the statement?
Yes, please. Please do so.
Okay, thank you. Opo. Mga kababayan, on March 11, 2025, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte was forcibly taken by the Philippine National Police upon his arrival at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. He was brought to Villamor Air Base, a military air base, detained for nearly 12 hours, and then flown out of the country on a private jet to The Hague, all allegedly because of a warrant issued by the International Criminal Court. This was patently an illegal arrest. This constitutes extraordinary rendition. A Filipino citizen, a former president, was taken into custody without a valid warrant issued by a Philippine court, without due process, and without any legal basis under our laws. The Constitution is clear. Section 2, Article 3 of our Constitution explicitly states, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature or for any purpose shall be inviolable, and no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined personally by the judge after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witnesses he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. This means that for an arrest to be lawful, it must be carried out pursuant to a warrant issued by a Filipino judge of a Philippine court. Nasaan po ang warrant of arrest na inisyu ng hukuman ng Pilipinas? Wala. Without a valid warrant from a Philippine court, this was at best a warrantless arrest. Under the rules of court, warrantless arrests are only permitted in 3 instances: in flagrante delicto, hot pursuit, and escaped prisoner. None of these circumstances applied to the case of the former president. So, what was the legal basis of his arrest? The authorities acted solely on an ICC warrant, a document that has no legal effect in the Philippines unless reviewed and validated by a Philippine court. In fact, even assuming without conceding that the government itself wished to recognize and enforce the ICC's warrant, it still violated the Rome Statute itself. Even by ICC standards, the former president should have been brought before a Philippine judge to determine the validity of his arrest before he was handed over to a foreign court. Under Article 59 of the Rome Statute, a state party which has received a request for arrest and surrender shall immediately take steps to arrest the person in question in accordance with its laws and the provisions of Part 9, and shall bring that person before the competent judicial authority in that state. Yan ang sinasabi ko paulit-ulit nung nasa labas ako ng gate ng Villamor Air Base. And why was this not done? If they claim to abide by international law and standards, then why did they conveniently choose to ignore this provision? The fact remains that we are no longer a state party to the Rome Statute. We are no longer a member of the ICC. In fact, in a letter dated December 15, 2023, the President himself wrote to me, with respect to your concerns, legal or otherwise, on the investigation to be conducted by the International Criminal Court into the previous administration's war on drugs, I remain steadfast in my resolve that the jurisdiction of the ICC over the Republic of the Philippines after the effectivity of its withdrawal therefrom is very much in question. To this end, this government will not assist the ICC in any way, shape, or form. So if the government itself has declared Non-cooperation with the ICC, why did the PNP violate this very policy and enforce a foreign warrant? Even granting for the sake of argument that we have some duty to cooperate with either the ICC or Interpol, does that duty override the fundamental rights of every Filipino enshrined in our Constitution? What happened on March 11, 2025 is not just about one man. It is about all of us. It is about the country. If a former president can be taken without due process, what stops them from doing the same to any other Filipino? Therefore, we must dare to ask more questions. Under whose authority did the PNP act? Why did they enforce a foreign warrant without a Philippine court order? Why didn't they at least bring PRRD before a judge as required by the Rome Statute itself? Even more disturbing is the silence of the armed forces of the Philippines. Why did the AFP stand idly by while a former commander-in-chief was taken from a military base under questionable circumstances? How could they allow a foreign tribunal to override on our constitutional guarantees? We have now lost a former president. I pray that we do not lose the country next. Your Honor, Senators Cayetano and Marcos and other senators present, alam naman natin lahat at alam nila na mali ang ginawa nila. Ginawa nila yon just to demolish political opponents. This is all about politics. The administration is using government resources, the ICC, to demolish the opposition. Wala na tayong argument. Mali ang ginawa. Ang tanong ngayon, ano ang gagawin natin para maibalik ang dating Pangulo sa Pilipinas? Kasi nag-iisa ako ngayon dito na gumagawa ng paraan para maibalik ang ating dating Pangulo sa ating bayan. Thank you.
Maraming salamat sa ating Vice Presidente at hindi kayo nag-iisa. Lahat tayo ay naghahanap ng solusyon sa napakakomplikadong pangyayari.